Welcome back, scientist. I am here for another science experiment with my always helpful assistant, Rex. Rexy. See? Very helpful. Today we are going to conduct an experiment on a mixture. We are going to mix salt and water. Now, you already know from learning about physical properties that the salt is going to do what in the water? Correct. Dissolve, because salt is soluble in water. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mix the two, and then we are going to separate it. Now, you might think, how might we do that? Heat. What's going to happen when I heat the water, the salt water mixture? What's going to happen to the water? It's going to turn into gas in a process we call evaporation. So we are going to evaporate our mixture. That is one process we could use to separate a mixture. So I've already balanced my triple beam balance. I'm going to put my beaker on here, and I'm going to add my salt. I'm going to go ahead and measure. What I'm looking for is the mass of the salt in the beaker. Too much. Okay, so the mass of our beaker with our salt is 100 plus 90 grams plus 7.4. So the mass of our water, the mass of our salt in our beaker is 197 and 4/10 grams. Please write that in your notebook now. And we're back. I hope you got that measurement of our mass down. Now what I'm going to do is add our water. And I'm going to stir. Because did you know that stirring helps increase or helps the substance dissolve faster? So if I would just let it sit there, it might not have dissolved as fast, but I'm going to stir it. I'm going to give it a really good stir. And now I'm going to turn on my hot plate. And of course, as we know, heating things is going to start to heat up and boil. And as it boils, all that steam is the water evaporating. So the water is going to evaporate. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think and make a prediction in your notebook. How much salt do you think is going to be left when all the water has evaporated? Is it going to be all 197 and 4/10 grams? Is the salt going to evaporate with all the water, so none of the salt will be left? Will some of the salt or maybe half of the salt be left? I want you to make a prediction about how many grams of salt with the beaker. So what do you think the beaker and the salt will weigh after this is heated up and all the water has evaporated? Go ahead and do that now. I will come back on to show you how the water is boiling and steaming, and then I'll come back on again to measure what's left after evaporation. Okay? Okay, so as you can tell, the saltwater mixture has definitely reached its full boiling point. You've got the bubbles going down here, and although you cannot see the steam, I can definitely feel it coming off, and I don't really know why you can't see the steam, but it's not that obvious, but it is coming off. As you can see the sides of the beaker, that is salt splashing up there, the salt water mixture that splashed up there, and the salts remained on the sides. So I will come back after all the water has evaporated, and then I will remeasure the beaker and the salt, and we'll see how much salt has been left behind after this process. Still boiling, you hear that? Almost gone, but not quite. Okay, scientists, we have finished boiling, we have finished evaporating, and we have cooled off, so now I can touch it. And as you can see, the only thing that's left is salt. So let's go ahead and see if we balance. I left the triple beam balance at 197 point, and we're back. As you can see, all of the water is evaporated, and we are left with just dry salt. It's on the sides of the beaker, and it's all on the bottom of the beaker. Pretty cool, huh? Now, for the real test, how much did you predict of the mass of the salt in the beaker after the water evaporated? Before we began, remember, it was 197 4/10. So I have left it at 197 4/10, and we will see if it balances. You just slightly balance because I think my balance got moved. There you go. There you have it. So our method of separation for this mixture, the saltwater mixture, was evaporation. It's not a tool, it's a process. We could have let it sit out for days and days and days and let it evaporate on its own, but to make it faster, we just applied lots and lots of heat, and we boiled it so that it would evaporate. All of the salt that we originally put in remained behind. None of the salt evaporated because salt is a solid, and solid can't evaporate. However, all the water is now gone. And that concludes our experiment for today. Thank you for showing up, and have a great day.